It is Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time to swim or it's time to sink here. We're back with Swim or Sink. I don't even know which number this is. I am Frostix, joined by Topic, and we're here to cast our first game featuring Tetris Effect, Go to Game, and Lemon Cider. Topic, how are you feeling right now?
You know, I prefer apple cider.
Yeah, real.
That's how I'm feeling. But yeah, I'm feeling good. You know, it's this Wednesday afternoon. Ready to see some teams go at it, see which one is better. But hey, we gotta start off like a little calm at the beginning as we have our first game here, which is gonna be ship-shaped cargo splat zones. Whenever I see this map mode, I think of Reef Slider because it is very funny because they can cover the zone like it's nothing. So I think it's a very funny map mode in my opinion.
I'd say Reef Slider not only is such a good zone flipping special, but it also demands and commands a lot of presence. You do not want to be caught in the midst of a car lest your name becomes David.
I mean, I don't think anybody wants to be met with like an inflatable shark that just explodes. You know, I think that'd be a very bad morning, very bad way to start your day off.
Oh yeah, no, you don't want to immediately get into a tournament and then go out that way here, at least on ship-shaped zones. Our other two matches within this best of three set will be Undertow Rainmaker, the home of Checkpoint 1 team fights, and Barnacle and Dime zones for the zone sandwich.
Yeah, you know, Barnacle and Dime, one of the best Tetris pieces in the game, because Tetris Effect, hey, maybe that's their home field advantage. But we're gonna see, as we're gonna hop straight into our first game. It's like Tetris Effect. It looks like gonna be in that yellow, that lime green, and lemon cider in the purple. And actually some very interesting weapons here. You can see Trash Can with the Sorella tent and Cyan there with a Dread Ringer. Very interesting combinations on that side. And on the side of Lemon Cider, a weapon that's not seen very often, a vanilla Splatling. You know, ever since the explosion of pencil, Splatlings in general have been very underplayed other than the heavy edits. So hey, I'm here for it. I'm all here for different weapons.
Yeah, especially like now that you're saying that you're here for the underrated Trash Can with that tent. They're gonna take out Kakarot with the Zuka. Here's Pick. They're making some pretty aggressive plays with the end zap, especially now that they're on soda buff, but they're being forced to jump out. Here's Kakarot with the Wiper getting shut down immediately by the Carbon, and Cyan's just holding the ground, holding the line with the Dreadrigger. I've been seeing Dreadrigger a lot recently, actually in other tournaments I've casted. They have that key special that you were talking about earlier, Reef Slider, that's ready to flip at any moment's notice, especially now that the zone is flipped. They've lost control and they have a hearty lead at 77 to 92 here. I don't even think they need to pop the Reef Slider as soon as... Oh, they do anyways.
Yeah, I think that was supposed to be in response to the hammer that's kind of came from the top ropes. Unfortunately, the hammer did go down, so Cyan kind of, I won't say wasted the Reef Slider, but it was a lot less effective than they want. But there's Kakarot once again dropping down from the top rope. It's gonna find one, looking for another one as Trash is in the corner there. Unfortunately, they're gonna for Kakarot, they're gonna make it out really quickly. So very good. Very good at getting in from Lemon Cider. So Tetris Effect here, but on their back foot, but they're not going to be forced back too far here, as you see that they still have a majority of their core still in their color. The Zap's going to go down from Lemon Cider. The View Cider is going to go in as well. They're going to go down, but not before getting the zone for Tetris Effect.
Yeah, they managed to put a heavy amount of penalty on Lemon Cider's effect, even when they're still relatively early into their countdown here. Their penalty points are actually ticking down faster, already in the 9s, and Kakarot is just in control of bridge. No one dares step onto Kakarot's territory. Actually, Trash Can is trying to make a stand here. They're dodging with the shields, playing around the natural defense. They're going to take out I'm the Heavy, but it's going to go down to the Wave Breaker that the vanilla Splatling has. Snake Puppy and Kakarot are holding down the line here. They're actually closing in on Tetris Effect's lead here. It's looking like they will be able to take back lead here with 2 minutes and 38 seconds left left on the clock here. Tetris Effect now needs to up the ante and get zone. It's looking like Cyan has the Reef Slider, but it gets canceled here. All of their attempts to make it onto zone are being nullified.
I mean, yeah, very unfortunate. If you're Tetris Effect, they've been trying to go in again and again and again. It's not quite able to work out for them, but that's a good opening as they're going to get 2 down. Cyan's going to go in looking for another one. Not quite able to get the pick onto pick there. They're going to actually be able to jump away really, really quickly, but great job from Tetris Effect by the skin of their teeth, holding on. 7 points remaining for Lemon Cider. Pick, they're going to go down and trade their trash can there, as another one's going to go down for Tetris Effect. So maybe Lemon Cider not going to let them have the zone for a very long, as Kakarot able to get one with the hammer as we saw a little bit ago. So they're able to get in really, really quickly, but not before Tetris Effect. Hey, they're fighting back. They're not letting Lemon Cider get any more points as they put on another massive penalty.
Yeah, that's another 62 back onto Lemon Cider as Tetris Effect's timer is slowly ticking down, 17-16, and they're already starting to push up. That's Trash Can. I think I see Cyan. And with an untimely bomb, they take out the machine. That's a good Zuka limb. They're all rushing Pick. That's no soda for Lemon Cider as well, Comrade. But it's looking like Kakarot is trying to make a stand, fighting on the bridge. They're under fire from a Reef Slider. They're under fire from a pencil as well here. And Tetris Effect's penalty is removed, and they're ticking down. They're ticking down fast. They're shooting down Zuka's. Trash Can's holding down the line. They're trying to get some pump shots onto the rest of 11.
3 points.
It's 3 points. They did take. They are very close to getting a lead. They just did. Topic. They just got a wipe out.
There we go. That's it. Tetris Effect has come to play. Apparently, Lemon Cider did get down to 7 points remaining, but Tetris Effect, they got in and they just held it. I think the combination of just overwhelming paint with especially the Dreadringer plus the pencil just really gave them a lot of space to work with. Just gave them a lot of paint to work with, and that really helped. Not to mention the tent was also there to kind of force their way in, kind of force a majority of the members of Lemon Cider to respect it and move out the way. I just like gave them an open lane, and they just took full advantage of it, and they kind of just won really after Lemon Cider got down to 7 points.
Exactly. Even when Lemon Cider was just very, very close to winning, they clap back. They make sure that space is in their presence, making sure that frontline players like Kakarot get no opportunity to encroach on the bridge. And we are now joined by Sfeel and Brian Hands.
Yes. Does Sfeel have a name?
No.
No. You just feel.
Just Sfeel.
Just feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just feel. Yeah, but I am very intrigued to see what's going to happen in game 2, which is going to be Rainmaker Undertow, if I saw that correctly. Yes, it is. So I do think just on the outskirts, before the game starts, I do think the tent again for Tetris Effect is gonna be really, really good, especially since if they decide to go on that left side, that very like long kind of drawn out push, the tents can be very, very effective. Not only to mention, you also have the Reef Slider, which if placed really well can just cause absolute havoc within the members of Lemon Cider.
Yeah, you need to act fast when a Reef Slider starts making its presence known. And I think, what's it called? I think I did see Lemon Cider respond to Cyan's Reef Slider with relative effectiveness, but I think it still has an air of unpredictability to it, especially when it's coming out from a Dreadringer.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think it was about a little more than halfway through the game. Cyan went in with the Reef Slider onto the zone, and then they just got punished right away. So I do think that Lemon Cider, of course, doesn't know how to play against it, but can they do that? Can they keep the Reef Slider at bay? Not to mention, there's also a carbon on the side of Tetris Effect, so something I'd be really looking out for. But as we're gonna see, the tent is out and the mint decaf is in. Okay, a very, I would say, stable front line, if that makes sense. Like, you have the bubble, you have the suction bomb to kind of give yourself a lot of space to work with. So we're gonna see if this change is gonna be helpful or hurtful for Tetris Effect.
Yeah, I will say Tetris Effect does have a deficit in paint, I'd say, in comparison to Lemon Cider, especially considering Lemon Cider has not just the wiper, it has the V Heavy, it has the End Zap. Those are a lot of weapons that can output a large amount of paint and potentially negate Tetris Effect's control. That being said, Cyan's going to take out Snake Puppy here. Cyan also has the Reef Slider ready to rip to cause more havoc in mid, especially considering how much members of Lemon Cider are occupied here. Tetris Effect just needs to get a good push forward. It's looking like Comrade is doing just that. Trash Can and Cyan are eyeing the Rainmaker. They're being shielded by the big bubbler. Even amidst Zuka shots, amid hammers from Kakarot, they stay alive.
I mean, hey, that just shows the capability of Bubble. They're just keeping the members of Tetris Effect alive long enough to make sure Lemon Cider cannot get that many points. They're only able to get 3 points off of a perspective push. So great job by Tetris Effect of just staying alive for the most part. See Kakarot jumping in there to go down as well. So what could have been really dangerous turned out to be just a drop in the bucket for Lemon Cider. So now Tetris Effect in kind of a really good spot here to kind of get at least the lead, since they don't have to travel really that far, just to hop, skip, and jump away. They're gonna get it as Alto's gonna pick it up. They decide to also take it on this left hand side. One member for Lemon Cider is gonna go down here, as the Tetris Effect are slowly making their way over to his left hand side. Trash Can gonna go in. Kakarot pop the hammer. Kakarot, unfortunately, they're gonna go down here, so that's very unfortunate for Lemon Cider. As Tetris Effect able to at least get a couple more points down to 86.
I think they're still in this push though, Topic, with an immediate pop by Tetris Effect. That's a Zuka coming out, I think, from Lemon Cider as well. Yeah, from Snake Puppy. And a Bubble coming out from Tetris Effect. That's going to shield Comrade and the amount of defense necessary to break through the first checkpoint here. Now it's time for an all-out skirmish here. This is the danger zone of Undertow Spillway. It's that first checkpoint. It's the most volatile area, and where a lot of fights seem to come to a stagnant close, as we saw from Tetris Effect, as their push comes to a close and as Lemon Cider is beginning. Trash Can is making a mad dash towards the backline, is going to get canceled out by Kakarot's hammer. They're going to toss it, claim no targets here. Comrade's lying in wait here. I don't think they know that the carbon is there, and they're making their presence known. The attack V Heavy and V Heavy's down. I think Snake Puppy is just trying to apply a little bit more pressure from an elevated angle. Comrade is somehow still alive, but won't be able to take out Snake Puppy. It's just Snake Puppy left. They need to retreat into mid, lest be attacked by Trash Can and Alto here. They're holding their ground, though, as they allow the rest of Lemon Cider to rally to them.
I mean, hey, shout out Comrade. They did what they needed to do. They lied and waited for the Rainmaker. Just worked out really, really well for them. So now Lemon Cider, that's unfortunate. Just absolutely terrible timing if you're Comrade, but thankfully they have cooler, so not that much is going to be made from it. But now Lemon Cider, you see they're already getting set up once again. You see they're trying to at least go get this left side painted there, color, to try to at least get some pressure applied to there. But Trash Can is back in action, just going straight for the Rainmaker, able to cancel that push before it even has an opportunity to start a nice slash there. It's going to get another one to Snake, but they're looking for a second one. Kakarot wrong place, wrong time. So Tetris Effect, basically a 3 down there, is going to allow them to at least get more points on the board, possibly.
Yeah, they're still in this fight to win, and a decisive sword duel and an excellent display of swordplay by Trash Can secures this first push. That's a Zuka shot coming in from Shark to Snake Puppy. That's going to take out Alto. That's going to potentially stop Tetris Effect push, but Trash Can is still here. They have the bubble ready to rip, and they're rallying the rest of Tetris Effect towards Lemon Cider's Rainmaker push here. It doesn't look like they're getting a lot of movement. They're being stalled out, potentially by Kakarot. Kakarot's gonna go down. I think Snake Puppy's lying in tow. V Heavy's gonna deploy the Wave Breaker, and Rainmaker is now reset. Trash Can's in a really decisive situation. They're being under fire by Pick, by V Heavy, by Snake Puppy. They're gonna take out Pick, and they're still moving totally unscathed. They're gonna take out Snake Puppy too. They're just moving while they are pushing. Trash Can was studying the blade.
I mean, listen, they're moving and grooving and doing whatever they want. I believe that's a triple. That's a what? That's 4 down in a row. Trash Can turned, well, hey, guys, today pressure makes diamonds, as you can see right there. Trash Can going from a 2v1 to getting 4 in a row, keeping Tetris Effect into the fight. Pick going straight for the Rainmaker. They're gonna go down. Snake Puppy to get the Rainmaker, though. Unfortunately for Tetris Effect, only 1 member down, and that will be a wipeout on the side of Tetris Effect. So Lemon Cider, you have about a minute to go. You still have to break through that barrier. So this will be very, very difficult if you're them, because Tetris Effect's defense has been super strong, very strong actually, for of all of the game, basically. Ever since you got to 85, you haven't really been able to go anywhere. So now, if you're Lemon Side, you have to get constant, maybe 2-3 downs, one opportunity to push there. Unfortunately, Tetris Effect will get 2, will get 3. Snake Puppy, the last member remaining, Comrade, will be there to shut the door decisively. And Tetris Effect, with a very, very strong defensive showing throughout that majority of that game, they will take the game, and they will take the first set of the day.
I think I just need to say it right now, Topic. Trashcan is just insane right now. I think within that last push, even into overtime, I think they managed to get already 2 down, not even before Lemon Cider could make it out of mid. Decav is never to be slept on.
I mean, hey, you know that's going on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
I know they clipped it or something, or no, someone clipped it. That's going on Twitter. So yeah, shout out to Trashcan, just staying alive. Like, they just kept the push going for Tetris Effect, and it just worked out in their favor. What else you want me to say? Just good gameplay. GG's.
Yeah, they didn't even need to make it to Barnacle zones here. They don't need to go for another zones match here. Just closing it out in Rainmaker. Such an excellent showcasing by Tetris Effect, but even still, shout out to Lemon Cider. They still held promise, especially within that zone match for a little while before Tetris Effect clapped back twice in that zones match.
Yeah, I think, yeah, like you said, shout out to Lemon Cider. They did really keep it close. I think the biggest problem, especially in that, no, I won't say in that second game mainly. The second game was that they really couldn't get any offense going. Because for a regular Rainmaker game, 60 is not that good of a push. Like, especially on Undertale, that's what, the first checkpoint, and maybe like 1 or 2 steps ahead of it, something like that. I don't remember exactly. I think
it was just the first checkpoint. I don't know if Tetris Effect made it like anywhere past the first checkpoint, but even still, they just made it so that Lemon Cider couldn't even make it to the first checkpoint.
Yeah, because they were stuffed in mid, I think, every single time. That, especially, let's take that last push, for example, in overtime, right? Lemon Cider, they were looking good. They had a majority, or not majority, they had a lot of mid painted their color. It was just Tetris Effect. They got in there, they painted, I think they got 2 down, the last one went down, and it just felt like Lemon Cider, they were in quicksand, basically. Like, they were stuck. It felt like they just couldn't really move for the most part. It felt like they just...
It's not just the fact that they were in quicksand. They were in quicksand with a sandworm in it, with multiple sandworms nipping at their feet, not allowing them to get any breaks, even into an offensive push here. They were stuck within just basically 1 choke point for most of their pushes, Topic.
Yeah, they were really stuck. Like, and as you can see, Group A, a little bit here, you can see Dragnet committed 1. Yeah, sorry, I couldn't see. They did lose the NFT days 2-0. Lemon Side, of course, Tetris Effect played. So, you know, round 1, that's just happened. So, yeah, I would expect. No, I'm excited for later on, honestly. I really want to see how far Tetris Effect can go.
Yeah, especially considering that zones match, they popped out with a lot of interesting weapons. They, of course, have V Heavy sticking to the name of the game. They stuck with V Heavy through and through. But not just that, Trash Cans being really useful here. They showed up with Tent for the first match, provided a lot of frontline defense, but then immediately decided to be both shield and sword, switching to Mint Decapitator for game 2. Talk about being your angle or your devil.
Yeah, I think, especially with Tetris Effect, I think Trash Can's kind of being the wild card, basically, is the best way I could put it. Just worked out really well for them, because if I were facing them, I don't know what they could run. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I have to prepare for like 7 different options, since I just don't have the information. Since Tent, because majority of the time, if you play Tent, you're like a Tent 1 trick, right? Like, you don't play anything else, because Tent is a very hard weapon to play. it's a very it's a weapon you have to not build a comp around, or kind of, yeah. It's a weapon you have to like know how to play around, if that makes sense. Like you got to get your team to play around it first. So just switching off of that to something kind of more splashable, like a decapitator, that's pretty impressive, I would say.
Yeah, I'm looking at Tetris Effect's team sheet. Conrad appears to like have Carbon Deco fully locked in, but Cyan not just having the Dreadringer, but also a couple of blasters under their belts. Meanwhile, Alto's being a really solid backline with not just Pencil, but also Sea Leader and Rapid Deco. Or Custom Rapid, yeah.
I mean, hey, very interesting weapons, but hey, you know, SOS, what can you expect? People is like throwing everything at the kitchen, out of the kitchen sink, at the wall, see what sticks. But hey, we're gonna take a very quick break while we get the rest of the team set up for round 2. So hey, don't go anywhere because we got more SOS coming up to you in a little bit. Hey, we told you to be quick because we are back with SOS number 179. We have a round 2 match for you. I am Topic, joined once again by Frosty, and we have for you today Hollow Paradise versus Wyrmwind.
No rest for the wicked for us, Topic, as we're going straight into round 2. Our first map mode, Umami Ruins Zones, followed by TC Hagglefish, and the zone sandwich is going to be completed by Mahi Mahi Resort here. Umami Ruins is definitely a peculiar zones map, of course, because of well, obviously because of the 2 zones, but also because both zones are being completely interrupted by the big rectangle in mid. That can obviously definitely complicate pushes. You have to, like, I guess, make a choice on which zone you want to commit to first.
Yeah, and I think actually I do think that if you can get that top rectangle part, I don't think you kind of get both zones right away, but you do kind of have the advantage getting both zones right away, because it's like I don't want to say you overlook them, but you do have that slight height advantage, which is very, very useful for a lot of weapons. So I could see both teams here try to at least send like 1 or 2 players. I'd say probably 1 player to top mid try to contest for it. But we're gonna see as we're gonna hop straight into our second round. Let's see what we have. Hollow Paradise here bringing out. Ooh, okay, a Forge Pro, a weapon that's not seen very often. But hey, I'm in favor of it. Is that a classic Squiffer?
That is the classic Squiffer topic. I was gonna say that.
They're just bringing everything, huh?
Yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, topic, throw anything at the wall and see what works. Here's Invide with the Squiffer. This isn't the trick-shotting Zipcaster Squiffer. This has Big Bubbler, and they're already pushing in. That is insane. They're being assisted by Minty here. I think they have the, wait, is that... That was Forge Pro, yeah, okay.
Yes,
Landing a quick scope onto Turple. They have Rice inside here, and that is just insane work to see. The Squiffer just pushed up that hard. Hollow Paradise is already 63 and past the 60 threshold into this zones match. No one from Wyrmwind is just allowed to advance further.
I mean, you just look at how far up they are. Rise is there, able to get 1, able to get 2 down on the side of Hollow Paradise. We're going to see Wyrmwind trying to fight back a little bit here. Them 2 members are going to go down. The Booyah Bomb is going to come out. Able to find 1 Invade there on the jump. Looking for more here. Turple not quite able to find any more picks. Actually, no. Minty is actually going to go down. So Wyrmwind able to at least recover a little bit. You know, they did go down very much early, but now you can see they're back into spot. They have the cooler at the ready. They have the crab as well, so they can possibly try to extend or get more points on the board here, getting under 65 points to go. The retire is going to come out. Unfortunately, it's going to get punished as well. So Wyrmwind, hold on, they're not giving up that easily either, as Minty is going to go down before actually getting the booyah. That's really bad. Nico's going to go down as well. Grace going in, able to get 1 through the bubble with a 1v1 here mid, looking for one of these zones, trying to get it. Unfortunately, looks like Hollow Paradise will be the ones to take the zone here.
And I can't wait for IPL to probably clip Grace's clip. Shout out, boss. Even still, Hollow Paradise is managing to match pressure with pressure against Wyrmwind. Minty's gonna hold that Booyah Bomb for a bit, but it goes straight into Max Mix's face, blowing up and getting a splat for them. That's already 2 down for Hollow Paradise. And Hollow Paradise is immediately going to respond by going into their spawn. Grace is going to take a couple of warning shots from Minty. I think the Squiffer is also already on the scene. They are just forcing Hollow Paradise to respect the space, forcing a very far pushed off crab from Grace, and the Booyah Bomb is going to be sent into their zone. Max Mix is now pulling up a second crab for Wyrmwind. There has 2 crabs from Wyrmwind. Max Mix is going to take out Basin, and now they're back in control, applying a 55 penalty to Hollow Paradise. This match is far from over, topic.
I mean, yeah, we saw Wyrmwind hold really well, getting 55 points on their first push, but Hollow Paradise not gonna let them have it again so easily, as the Booyah Bomb's gonna come out. 2 members of Wyrmwind are gonna go down. The cooler is gonna come out for Hollow Paradise, so they're able to get a really good hold here. Minty going in, unfortunately, they're gonna go down. So Rise's heavy edit. There's 2 members of Hollow Paradise actually are gonna go down here, so Wyrmwind has the opportunity to at least get the zones back in control. A trade's gonna go out in as well, but Wyrmwind's gonna benefit from that, as 1's gonna go down. 2 are going to go down. Max Mix looking for another pick. Like quite a bit. The blue one's going to come out as well for Wyrmwind to at least get the members in. We're going to see 1 member Max Mix there at least back out a little bit, because they do have a crab at the rate to keep members of Hollow Paradise back, as Wyrmwind, they're out of their penalty points, so they're going to keep scoring. So if Hollow Paradise can't get in, this is going to be more dangerous than it looks for them.
It's looking like Hollow Paradise is going to open the fight with a Booyah Bomb. Minty's going to take out Grace here. That's very important to get a very agile shooter with the crab out for Wyrmwind. And now, once again, Minty is going to be posting up directly in front of Wyrmwind. They're going to jump back to safety. Smart play by Minty, assisted by Invade. They're going to take a little bit of a longer ranged fight here. Perhaps that is a smarter play with alongside the other half of your team, especially now that you're almost through with your penalty points. Miko almost has a Zipcaster ready to roll. That can definitely cap the zone here. And with a Booyah Bomb sent in by Wyrmwind, they're starting to take over the rectangle and take the first zone. They're going to take out what looked to be the end zap for Hollow Paradise. But Wyrmwind 2 down here, but they still fight strong. Turple and Max Mix are on the scene. That's a direct onto Minty. Turple just moving in there like swimwear.
I mean, listen, that flank from Miko on Hollow Paradise was almost really deadly for Wyrmwind, but thankfully for them, they were able to scout it out and get them down. But now you see Hollow Paradise is doing what they can to at least keep the zones neutral, because as we enter the final 10 seconds of the game, if you're Wyrmwind, you need to push up now. You need to make sure Hollow Paradise is nowhere near the zones. Minty here and Miko there on the top on the silo. They're looking for something here. The brief is going to come out, going for the backlines. Is able to go find one, but not before going down themselves. Maximus is going to go down as well. Ride on the flank, then go down as well. And Hollow Paradise, a little bit of a jump scare from them, because that game looked to get very out of hand very quickly for Wyrmwind, but they were able to settle down, get it closer, but unfortunately they weren't quite able to climb themselves out of that deficit from early on. So Hollow Paradise will take game one after a lot closer than I bet they would have liked.
Yeah, Hollow Paradise were within knockout range, within 10, but just when they needed to, Wyrmwind managed to stall them out just for a little while longer, making it past 50 into the 40 threshold, if I remember correctly, and they put up a really good fight here, making sure that they can match Hollow Paradise's aggression. We saw how eager Minty and Invide were willing to already post up on Wyrmwind's spawn here, especially considering this is a Forge Pro and a classic Squiffer being on your doorstep.
I mean, Frosty, did you play Splatoon 2 at all?
I did play Splatoon 2. I did play.
Okay, so as someone who plays Splatoon 2, I love seeing Forge Pro only because it reminds me of K-Pro.
Yeah, I forgot it called the K-Pro's kit and then called itself Forge Pro.
Listen,
I know what you are.
I want my Splat Bomb back to have the actual K-Pro, but either way, it's really cool seeing Forge Pro, because nowadays I would say Forge Pro is it's a very ink-hungry weapon. It doesn't really paint as well as you would like, I would say. And also having a Squiffer, now, very unorthodox. Like, you would not see these normally, but I think that Hollow Paradise just makes it work really well. It's just, hey, I'm just impressed, really, and nothing else to really say.
I mean, if anything, what's it called? I think specifically Classic Squiffer's Big Bubbler could be useful for Minty, assuming Minty wants to start charging a Booyah Bomb directly in front of Wyrmwind's face. I'm not sure if we ever did see that within this Umami match, but I think the Big Bubbler could provide the necessary cover to at least avoid a very early cancel going into that special. I think we did see a couple, I think a Booyah Bomb cancel in that Zones match. I'm not sure if it was from Minty or if it was from Wyrmwind's S-Blast.
I do believe we saw one or two on either side, but we're not gonna have time to discuss that, as we're gonna hop straight into game number 2, TC Haggle. Let's see if anything changes. Looks like Minty going over to the Crab Pro, okay, and Turple, very interesting pick, going over to the Rapid Blaster Pro Deco, as long with Maximus switching over to the Vanilla Stamper with the Zipcaster. So again, very interesting comp from them. It looks like we're gonna also see from the side of Hollow Paradise the switch over to the Neo Splash for those GT strikes, so maybe that's gonna be very helpful. It might be necessary for the moment, as Wyrmwind are already gonna go 2 down here.
Yeah, it's not just that. I think Hollow Paradise is running an all-new, mostly different comp, as I just noticed Miko's not even running, Miko's running S-Blast as well here. It's now their turn to try S-Blasting, and Minty's under fire by Turple. Turple's gonna go down. It's a trade, and I think there's only 2 people left on Hollow Paradise as they approach the deadly volatile checkpoint 2. That's actually 3. Minty, Invide, and Miko in tow. Miko's gonna toss the Booyah Bomb that's gonna chop up some more territory for Hollow Paradise, and they've made it past checkpoint 2 with a crab to boot, going into a potential final push for Hollow Paradise.
I mean, hey, 10 ticks remaining. Zipcats are gonna come out to at least stall it for a second, but Hollow Paradise able to break through the final checkpoint. Miko gonna jump in and at least get a trade out of it, but much like deja vu for game number 1, Wyrmwind find themselves in a very big hole here. They need to start grabbing their shovels and digging their way out of it. So if they want to win, they have 3.5 minutes, which is still a lot of time in this game. Like 3.5 minutes, anything can change, but if you're Wyrmwind, you gotta get a lot of good fights. You gotta get a lot of good picks, like one going down there. But Hollow Paradise, they're keeping up this aggression at any means possible.
Yeah, they're already back up to checkpoint 2, but Wyrmwind responds with defense of their own, even under fire from Bazin's strikes. They're going to close in on Bazin. Miko is on point. They're going to go down to Max Mix's V Stamper, and they're already in Invide's sights. Invide's going to go down. They need to at least acquire more space in mid, clear up any loose ends that Hollow and send, specifically Miko, and Max Mix is dealing with that. Miko's going to charge a Booyah Bomb, throw it directly to the tower, all the way from the backside, and now Max Mix is going to join the rest of Hollow Paradise in this push, but it's looking like they're still in this fight as Max Mix brings out the Zipcaster. It's going to get canceled out by Miko. That's revenge. Miko's going to take out Rice and is going to start flanking. Do they notice that there is a blaster on the side lanes? Grace is going to take a couple indirects. Miko's under fire from lasers. Miko's gonna get Grace. They're gonna get Turbo as well. No one can outrun S-Blast right now.
I mean, yeah, Wyrmwind, they're kind of scrambling to get themselves ready for defense. A Crab is gonna come out from Grace there to at least try to stop the bleeding for now, but unfortunately, the Booyah Bomb will say, hey, we're gonna keep this going. Turbo's gonna drop as well. We're gonna see Maximus with the Zipcaster. Actually, Turbo gun able to get to at least stop the push before it has a chance to score any more points here, but hey, Miko, that's a very aggressive, not Miko, the Splash Shot Pro with a very aggressive Crab there, as we're going to see in the base of Wyrmwind is a spot, definitely, as they're going to get found out and spotted out and weeded out eventually. So now, if you are Wyrmwind, you have basically a minute and a half to go, and for a majority of this game, you've been on your back foot. You need to get Hollow Paradise out of your way. You need to get them out of your hair. You have to make sure that they cannot come to the tower, which is a really good start here. But Minty on a bit of a flank, though, able to get one, looking to straight for the tower, but the GG Strikes are going to be there to force Grace off of the tower, but Turbo's going to be there as well to provide some backup. It's actually going to work out, probably. Minty staying alive, not quite able to get it, so Hollow Paradise, they're going to go down, so maybe a start for Wyrmwind here.
I do want to commend the fact that Minty was able to stay still for long enough to remain at least a slight threat in Wyrmwind's spine, but Wyrmwind is going to push past the first checkpoint, leading into the second here. That's going to be volatile. Turbo's going to land a 360 direct onto Miko. The strikes have come out from Bazin. They need to dodge so much specials incoming from Hollow Paradise. There's another Crab Tank coming in from Minty here. Wyrmwind cannot just catch a break here as Tower will soar smoothly back into mid, and as Minty once again pushes back up to claim more space, Turbo is going to be eliminated off the jump. Rice is in Minty's sights. They toss him the marker, and that's a dueling spawn for a wipeout for Hollow Paradise here. There's 30 seconds left on the clock, and Bazin is riding the tower back to the first checkpoint. There's a Booyah Bomb coming out from Miko here. There's just so much pressure on Wyrmwind's end. A thorn is in their spine, and that name is Hollow Paradise. They're moving past the second checkpoint. There's 10 seconds left on the clock. Wyrmwind needs to act, and they need to act fast and make this push work into overtime. But
G strikes. That might be it. Maybe. Hold on. We're going to see Wyrmwind. They're going to try to get the tower, but it's not going to be enough. No one's going to be there. See a little bit of a glitch there. Just someone trying to hopping on and off the tower, but it's not going to matter as Hollow Paradise will take the game. Very reminiscent of the first game where they looked really strong at the very beginning, and then Wyrmwind slowly started to make their way back, but it wasn't quite enough. Hollow Paradise able to at least hold them off for long enough, so Hollow Paradise will take the set in a 2-0 that's very deceptive. It was very, really close 2-0 actually.
Yeah, I think that was definitely closer than the Umami match. I think I definitely say that Wyrmwind did put up a very solid fight, especially towards the last couple minutes of this match here. They managed to at least provide a response to the amount of pressure that Hollow Paradise is outputting. Minty and Invide can just provide so much pressure, at least even from mid-range, and I think they responded to to Wyrmwind's double crab comp by, I think, were they running 2 crabs, or was it just one? Was it just one crab?
It was just one
crab. I see.
Yeah, because they had the Zipcaster instead of the Nouveau.
Yes, yeah. Bazin was running the Neo Splash. That way they had Tri-Strikes.
Yes.
That is how that worked here. We're going to see the Group L stats here. It's looking like Heyman went 2-0 as well. And Wyrmwind has finally received their first loss of this Swimmer Sync group stage for now. They're still in this to get going.
Yeah, we're gonna see the group looking pretty alright so far, but there's still a couple games that need to be played. Of course, Stormer versus Wyrmwind. Maybe Wyrmwind can kind of bounce back from what happened because it was still very close. Like, yes, it was 2-0, but like I said earlier, it was a very close 2-0, so that can really go either way. So, and you have Heyman versus Hollow Paradise, which, hey, we're gonna see because that'll be starting up in a few minutes.
Yeah, and then Wyrmwind will go off to face Sea Stormers here in Group L here. Such an expansive group stage that SOS will always have here.
I agree.
I think like the fact that Wyrmwind still managed to at least cinch out most, like they managed to at least provide a solid fight within within both these matches kind of makes me think that they still have a chance to move into a higher bracket going into top cut here, as long as they can make a lot more presence in rounds in the upcoming rounds.
Yeah, because I think especially for round number 3, if Wyrmwind does win, they will make Hammerhead. So, hey, that's still pretty good.
I do think it's pretty good. Maybe it's simply because Grace is on it, and that isn't that our boss.
Yes, it was. They're gonna make Great White. My boss is no influence on me whatsoever.
Speaking of perhaps company mandated things, we do have a couple of promotions here on stream to read out here. I've never really done this before. I'm not. On February 22nd at 7 p.m. EST. There's going to be a link to their page, to their Sendu page that will be sent in Twitch chat for more information. But the 22nd will be this Saturday. So, of course, if you got a 3-man team, consider playing in Tripnacity.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's. I think we have another little promotion that we have to do, and it's for Flutie. If for those who don't know what Flutie is the second official tournament for this upcoming Flutie season. So, hey, if you want to show off a little bit, you want to say, hey, we deserve higher. Are you like that permanent Div 5 team? Like, hey, we want to be Div 4, or hey, we were Div 9 last year, want to be Div 8, Div 7. Oh, hey, you can come up. It's only one day. You can show off to everyone else to the seating council that hey, we deserve to be higher. So make sure you sign up for this one-day version of League that will take place this Sunday, this 23rd at 1 p.m. EST. Make sure you can register, of course, on Sendu.inc. Do it before Saturday nights if you want to be part of this. It's going to be great. If you like Ludi, do Flutie. It's just fast Ludi.
That's what the F stands for?
Oh, is what the F stands for? Fast Ludi? Whoa!
I don't know if that's what the F stands for, but if it is, that's insane. Oh, that's going to be an intense weekend for anyone looking to do some more tournaments outside of SOS. But like we said, Tripnacity on Saturday at 7 and 7 p.m. EST, and Flutie on Sunday at 1 p.m. EST. Look forward and potentially consider joining here. Yeah, that was our ad run here.
Yeah, that was our ad run, and I believe that we're gonna take another quick break. But hey, don't go anywhere because we have our final round of groups coming up for you, and I sure y'all don't want to miss that because this one can decide who gets Great White and who gets Hammerhead. So we're gonna take a very quick break, but don't go anywhere because we'll be back with more SOS coming up to you in a little bit.
Wake up! We have round 3 of groups ready to go here in Swim or Sink 179. Oh, it's Hollow Paradise. Oh, is that? No, that's not. But it's not close to be Hollow Paradise. And Wyrmwind.
Difficulties. Wrong team.
Wrong team. We saw them before. Justin here on the streaming end is just getting some UI things set up here.
Fixing a couple kinks, just, you know, making sure everything's in the right place. There we go.
There we go. Here is Twister Time versus Sheer Cold, the based ice type move in all of Pokemon. A move that Spheal can learn.
It cannot learn Sheer Cold.
It can't. I lied.
Okay. I would be very surprised if Spheal can learn Sheer Cold.
I don't know. I think it's just because I thought everything learns. Anything at least belonging to the type. Enough about Pokemon. Let's go into the map mode rotation. We first have Splat Zones on Robo Ramen here. A very, very welcome addition to the Zones lineup. Finally, we're going to be seeing Clam Blitz on Museum del Fontino. Shout out Clam Blitz and Chad. I know you've been vying for clams this entire stream. And we're closing the Zone Sandwich with Crabla Capital. Oh my god, this water.
Well, while Frosty figures out what Spheal's doing to him, let's discuss a little bit of Splat Zone's Rubber Ramen, which is a really common map mode in my opinion. It's common for reasons, very good. There are actual flanks on this, you know, a Splatoon 3 new edition flank routes. Unsurprised, but yeah, overall I do think this map, it kind of, I don't say there's only one way to push in, but like the main way you go to get in is through the ramp. So I do feel like it can kind of boil down to which team can get the other's ramp first. If that makes sense.
Yeah, because once they like occupy ramp there, that's a lot of pressure immediately applied to the opposing team as soon as they spawn in. We're going to be seeing 2 buckets coming out from Twister Time. Meanwhile, Sheer Cold popping with a gold dynamo, and Drop Roller Octobrush sticking to their name. That's Drop Roller I see on the shoes.
Okay, very interesting from both teams. Actually, not a single shooter, so the world is healing. That's really well, but Sheer Cold very interesting with a I have no words. They're just very out there, kind of calm. Looks like they're just gonna keep on going as they do a quick wipeout within the first 30 seconds of the game. Fire Core is gonna go down, so Twister Time, they're be able to at least respawn right now. As Sheer Cold, they're gonna go 2 down, so Twister Time are responding really well. You're gonna see a reset. They're gonna go out there from this side of Twister Time to at least get the members of Sheer Cold out of there, but looks like it's gonna work out for the moment. But Drop Roller, they're gonna go down not before getting a trade, so Sheer Cold looking to at least establish their lead here as Wooly Gold Dynamo. I rock with it.
Yeah, we love to see, of course, the underrated picks here in Silver Sink. We saw the Tent earlier. We're seeing Tent again, also on the side of Sheer Cold. And we're seeing Wooly with the gold Dynamo. They're going to jump straight into the action here. No one expects the Dynamos to come in. That's going to take out both Goku and Big K-Hunk. And we're going to see Twister Time take back Zone. Meanwhile, all the action was happening. Sheer Cold's going to respond by taking Zone right back just as fast as they lost it here. They just need to get more control and occupy rank, as we're seeing Albedo doing here. Lychee is on the scene here. I think they're taking the front line. The rain is coming out from Twister Time. I think it's coming from their pencil.
Yeah, it is, but sheer cold, they're gonna go 2 down, so that's gonna hinder them, at least for now. 3 down, actually, so Twister timed the opportunity to get back into mid here, but yeah, be at least a little bit careful of pushing in to this Dynamo. You see Wally there on the flank, actually gonna give a jump out to drop where they're gonna go down, but you gotta be worried of Wally as a flanking Dynamo. Very, very scary, but we're gonna see what they can do here. Twister times eat through the penalty points. Hunk here, unsuspecting, managing to keep themselves alive. Just all the jumps going to Wally here is gonna not work out in their favor as Twister times gonna wipe out Sheer Cold. So unfortunately for Sheer Cold, they're gonna at least be, their lead's gonna get eaten through relatively quickly as Twister time, they're only 10 ticks away from it.
Yeah, even when Wooly was looking to get a very devious flank onto Big Gay Hunk, I think the fact that the entire team jumped to them, revealed their presence, and caused the entire team to get wiped out. Hunk is now into their backline, they're occupying the ramp, they land a couple shots onto Wooly. Fire Cody is going to go down here, but they're being assisted by Drop Roller. Drop Roller is going to take the front and take out Hunk. Now they just need to get this lead back. It's 38-25. The lead is definitely attainable, especially with their 20 and counting penalty points. Drop Roller is taking the front here. They're being assisted by Albedo's Decapitator, and I think with Wally in tow as well. Oh yeah, they're with Wally. They're going to take out Lychee first. That's a good side to take out the Decapitator. They're going to take out Big Big Hunk, and they're going down as well. But Albedo's just holding down the line on zone. They're going to lose control. Sheer Cold is almost out of their penalty points, and they're in it, and they take lead.
They take a very, very slim lead. Eon there, able to get a pick onto Drop Roller, not for going down in a trade. So a minute and a half left to go in this game. Sheer Cold is gonna get the control of the zone back, but not if Honk has anything to say about it. Able to very quickly use a retard to get a kill and to flip the zone. So Twister time now in control here. 3 members of Sheer Cold are gonna go down, but the question is, can they hold on? Can they keep their hold long enough? Because we've seen this before. We've seen Twister time in this exact spot where they get members of Sheer Cold down. Wooly's gonna go down, so that's a very, very good start there. 2 members are gonna go down, 3 members are gonna go down. Just the pencil or the tent left. Fire Corgi trying to stay alive here. They're gonna go down as well. So Twister time, like clockwork, honestly, breaking through the penalty points. They're actually able to take the lead here. Yes, they are. 45 seconds remaining, looking really, really strong here. Eon does pop a cooler to keep their team in it. We're gonna see Sheer Cold trying to force their way in. Fire Corgi with the Zuka. It's not gonna be enough though in Twister time. After a very tumultuous first game, after very back and forth, they will be the victors. Wow. A lot happened. A lot definitely happened. I think I may have lost the action at some points here, but even amidst the pushes, even amidst the frontline pushes that Sheer Cold did with a tent and with a dynamo, Twister time can manage to pull through, take game 1 on Splatoon on Robo Ramen. Museum Clams is next here, and I definitely say this is one of those Clams matches where you need to win 2 fights in order to get scoring. You need to win the first fight at mid, then you got to win the second fight at spawn. Yeah, because like I do kind of agree. I do think that first fight more so comes towards the ramp area, because that's like the main way you push in is through ramp. Like, yes, you can go over the mid block, right? But most of the time you're gonna have to push through the ramp anyway. So I do think that's where the first fight happens. And yes, the second fight takes place at spawn. You keep the enemy spawn your color, you're golden. So honestly, I don't know what to I could see both teams taking what they got. You know, Sheer Cold, listen, they had a tent. I don't put it past them that they could just kind of bulldoze their way, like slowly move forward with the tent to kind of force their way in. But hey, Twister time, they're not gonna go away with that. They're not go away that easily.
Yeah, what's it called? Especially considering, I'd say Hunk has the Dread Ringer that can, of course, provide not just a lot of pressure from below ledges, a lot of, which can be very abundant in Museum D'Alfonsino, but in terms of bulldozing their way through choke points, introducing Reef Slider.
Yes, my SD button go burr. I love it.
Yeah, I think we've seen a lot of how Dreadringer can be a very interesting pick, not just in zones, but also in a lot of other modes. We could see it within this TC. Of course, comp changes are never not guaranteed here. Switch ups can always change up the flow of the match, can add a layer of unpredictability, as we saw in previous sets here. So totally not alluding to a certain trash can.
I mean, hey, we're gonna see, because honestly, I don't want to say I want to predict, because anything can happen at any time. You might see another Squiffer, we might see a Squeezer, we might see a Big Swig, like
Oh, whoa.
it might see like a Dapple Doolies. I don't know. It could be like there's something in their back pocket, like their mystery mouse tool that will be useful later. Later might be now.
Yeah, they really do need the surprise tool that could be used now as we move in to Clam Blitz on Museum D'Alfonsino. Will we see anything new from both teams? That's Zimmy from Big J Hunk. And Albedo's now going to run the Wiper as well here. Some added movement and some added lightness to both teams. Zimmy is definitely something that is interesting to see.
I mean, yeah, a weapon that is very, very good at shutting down other weapons. But it looks like Hunk able to get one left for going on themselves, as Sheer Cold, a very, very aggressive start, dropping 2 people on that right-hand side to put some pressure on the Twister time. It's going to work out in their favor, but not for long, as Eon's able to get one. Goes to force it back away, as well as Fire Corgi is going to be there, trying to at least put some pressure on to the plat, but looks like it not do a lot here, as Twister time quickly flipping the script, able to at least get onto the plat of Sheer Cold. But actually, hold on, there's been a switch. Eon, instead of the V slosh, you're going with the vanilla one with the inkjet. Not something you see very often, but also can work really well. So that does mean Twister time, they do kind of lack on bombs. Like they have 2 disruptors, so Sheer Cold will not be able to move.
Yeah, especially when they were trying to make it up the block. They were under pressure from not just the big bubbler, but from a point-blank Zuka from Sheer Cold. And now it's Sheer Cold's turn to start making up the ramp. Albedo is starting to hammer down here. They're not going to get any picks. They're going to get shut down by the looks to be Leechy's Decavitator here. They only have 2 members left. It's only Sully. A Dropper and Albedo are moving in. Sully is carving the path with Reef Slider. Fire Corgi is going to get the Power Clam in. And that's our first break of the game. That's 3 down on Twister time. Sheer Cold making it to 77. Can they get a necessary lead to ensure Twister time can get a counter push ready to go with a Pity Clam? They've made it to 68. I think the 60 threshold is relatively safe to work with, but Albedo coming in with the sealed chair of 3 more clams here, making it to 59. That is halfway through your points. The Drop Roller is still on the scene. Same thing with Sully here. I think they're just trying to get some leftover picks if anyone becomes too overzealous. And here it is. Big Gay Hunk's going to go down to Drop Roller. I don't think they were able to get anyone else here as their push has come to an end.
Uh-oh. That's very unfortunate. Sheer Cold a bit too overzealous. 3 members of them going down. So you just gave Twister time a lot of space to work with, as they're going to take that over really, really quickly here. But can they capitalize on that is the question to be asked. As you're going to see, there is a hammer at the ready. There is, or the bubble at the ready. There is a jet at the ready. But the jet's going to get shut down almost immediately. Another one's going to go down. So no bubble, or no one of the bubbles for Twister time. The second one's going to be popped, at least kind of stop the bleeding for now, but Albedo's going to march right on through like it's not even there. And Sheer Cold, kind of like clockwork, are going to be back on the plat, as the retard is going to come out as well, as long with the Zipcaster from Dropple. They're going to go in looking for a couple plays, not quite able to get one, eventually, as Sheer Cold getting out to 36 points remaining. 2 members are going to go down here, so Sheer Cold going to be forced to back away at least a little bit, but Dropple says nah, and then managed to get at least 1 more clam. And so now Twister time, a much larger hill to climb, as Sheer Cold has gone down to 33 points remaining.
If anything, the clam economy is definitely within their hand. That's a 13-10 clam deficit in favor of Twister time. Big A Hunt's going to drop the big bubbler onto the mid spinner here amidst a lot of pressure fire coming in from Sheer Cold. Sheer Cold does have a power clam in their hands, but so does Goku for Twister time here. It's just a matter of who breaks through first. It's looking like Eon's going to take out 2 for Sheer Cold, but Sheer Cold's gonna take out 3. It's only one member each for both Twister Time and Sheer Cold. That's Goku and Fire Corgi. The rest of Sheer Cold are now being rallied to mid here. They still have a probably dominant presence on the mid spinner. That's already 2 down for Sheer Cold. Twister Time may just be able to get going here. And I think they're going to go up the block here. Eon, assisted by the Inkjet, they're going to break the first barrier. Goku going to take out Drop Roller as well. Lychee going to take out Albedo. I think it's just constant trades here. And it's a wipeout. They're going to make it to 54 topic. Break this last play down.
Yeah, it's very, very close. 51 points for winning. We're going to take a couple clams from Hunk. Ugly at 37 clams to be specific, but 3 down once again. Hunk's going to be there. They're going to keep scoring. There's the lead for Twister Time. Just like the drop at a drop of a hat, the momentum has completely shifted. Twister Time in one push has scored 85 points. So now Sheer Cold, all that work has crumbled. So now you're on your back foot. You have 15 seconds plus overtime to get something going, but they're gonna go 2 down, not the start you want. So 10 seconds remaining. You do have the pity, so that's something to work with, but they keep going down again and again and again. Albedo trying to at least save a couple of clams. They're gonna go down as well, or they have a hammer, so they're gonna at least try to keep that for now. But to enter overtime, less than a minute to go in the game. The clock is gonna start ticking. Fire Corgi is gonna go in. There's Sully with the reside. That's gonna get punished as well. They need to go in as quick as possible. Drop it. They'll at least try to find a way in. They're gonna get traded, but they're gonna go down as well. Albedo is gonna be there, can at least save the ball. Fire Corgi is gonna be in response. They're gonna pick it up, but they're not gonna get to the basket in Twister Time. It took them like what 4 minutes to score, but that's just Clamblitz. Just one push kind of defined the game in Twister Time. A very, very good win for them, being down but not being out and just scoring, throwing it all at the basket.
I think they managed to play that final push well here, making sure that now that they are in Sheer Cold's territory, not to let any more space, to not giving Sheer Cold any more space. They're up in spawn here. I think Drop Roller already popped the Zuka. They were already deep into enemy territory. And even still, clam movement was definitely in their favor as well. They managed to pick up some more clams as well. Hunk moving in just in the nick of time to score, beating their lead, going into 30. And putting Sheer Cold within a very, very intense situation, forcing them to go into overtime with so little left to do.
Yeah, like it was just, they were kind of forced to panic a little bit, is the best way I could put it. They were kind of forced to make, I won't say rash decisions, but they were kind of forced to just go, and Twister Time just took full advantage of it, and they just kept getting Sheer Cold down again and again, and eventually the cookie did crumble as Sheer Cold's lead that they built up after multiple pushes just kind of fell all at once. So shout out to Twister Time, because I believe that does solidify them a spot into Hammerhead bracket. So shout out to them.
Yeah, I think they did. They managed to win not just against Sheer Cold, but against Extinction as well here. I think that's how that works. Yeah, I think that's how that works. That is how that works here. Okay, that is the last of group stage. We are going to be going into Top Cut next here. We're finally going into bracket. Great White consisting of Gallo, NFT Days, Big Fat Sea Cows, Moonshine, Andy Wake Up, Pinpoint, Ball Up Top, Pollo 5000, a freaking packet, yo, Showtime, and Bonsai here. Actually, unless like seating's different, I don't know how it works yet.
Yeah, well,
I'm not sure if it's solid.
I believe there's 1 or 2 matches not yet finished, so we're gonna have, yeah, okay, they're like 5 matches yet finished, so those results are not final. So I'm gonna wait for those teams to play it out and see, hey, who makes it to Great White, who makes it to Hammerhead. So hey, anything can happen, anything can change.
Yeah, exactly. Here we're going to be moving into Top Cut next year. This is where the games start heating up in Swimmer Sync, as you all know, but that'll be coming after a short break. So of course, stay tuned. Don't leave your keyboards just yet here, as we have more intense action here on Swimmer Sync.
Well, everyone, I hope you had a nice little time to rest, relax, and rejuvenate, because we are back with our great white bracket of this week's edition of SOS number 179. I am Topic, joined once again by Frosty. And Frosty, you see the bracket up here on screen. How you feeling about it?
I'm interested to definitely seeing. Okay, we've seen Hollow Paradise before. Lots of fun frontline pressure that Hollow Paradise can apply. I've seen the likes of Extinction as well as Moonshine before. Interested to see them as well here. We're seeing from everyone else in Great White, NFT Days, Pinpoint, Ball Up Top Cubed, Gallo, Andy Wake Up, Durrr Burger, Pollo, Showtime, Big Fat Sea Cows, Bonsai, Hans, Frickin Packet Yo, and 5,000.
Okay, so when it says a packet, is it like an internet packet, like a packet of ketchup, like just what packet?
It's a reference
to what?
Topic. There was this like old video that was probably like researching around like that. It started in like the Vine era, I'd say. Some guy crashing out mid-class about like the teacher not actually teaching the students but like giving them a packet, yo. But then for some reason like that meme had its ironic rebirth now.
You know what? Yeah, okay. You know what? I'm not gonna ask any more questions. But yeah, I think
it's delving into AP brain rot right now. That's something that I dare not wish to escape from my mouth.
But yeah, another team name that kind of intrigues me is Ball Up Top Cubed. Now, was Ball Up Top Squared already taken? That I'm curious of. It probably was.
Surely not. There's no way somehow a collective of 4 or more people managed to find a way to combine the words Ball Up Top and then make it to the power of 2.
That's impossible. It scientifically hasn't been done yet.
Yeah, the statistics are definitely a lot more thinner as it seems. We're still waiting to see which one of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15, 14, 15, 16 teams.
16.
We are going to be casting for the first block for the first round of Top Cut Great White here before we do the inevitable comp switch. But let's not talk about that here. I'm definitely, like I said earlier, I'm definitely familiar with the likes of aside from the teams that we casted, I'm definitely familiar with the likes of Moonshine as well as Extinction and Big Fat Sea Cows. I have seen them before. I've never casted them. I actually casted Extinction in a tournament yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Pretty interesting.
Of these teams, of course, we know Hollow Paradise. I feel like I've heard of Moonshine before. Big Fat Sea Cows, of course. I've seen them around. Good team. That's really all I gotta say. I feel like I've seen Bonsai as well. I don't know, just like I'm excited, really. But, enough talking about our potential teams. Let's at least get a little bit of a preview of our first game. As you know, there's going to be another zone sandwich, as you so eloquently put it, as our first match of round 1 is going to be Zones Hagglefish.
It's going to be Zones Hagglefish? That's going to be
Zones Hagglefish.
I am seeing this. This is going to be Hagglefish Zones first here. Going to be a very flat first top bun to the zone sandwich. Of course, there are the side lanes that could be very valuable for any willing front lines to flank here. Our second match will be TC Inkblot.
Ooh, okay. I'm a fan. No, as a blaster player myself, I love TC Inkblot. I do think it really does kind of depend, or not, it does rely on you getting up onto bats first and foremost, right? Especially as you get towards that second checkpoint. As soon as you get towards that second checkpoint, if you have bats, kind of just like, I don't say you win the game, but it becomes a lot easier to win the game, because you can overlook first checkpoint or go overlook second checkpoint. And I don't want to say you can't overlook third checkpoint, but you're in a really good spot to take the third checkpoint.
Yeah, once the pressure from bats is removed, once you're occupying it, you don't really need to worry about a lot of the enemy team fighting you on an elevated high ground here. They're forced to fight you actually at a low ground here, which is definitely a lot more advantageous for you if you're riding the tower on TC Inkblot, lest you be like Sisyphus and let the boulder roll right back down to mid here. Our final game for round one will be Barnacle and Dime zones.
Yeah, you know, the classic Z-shaped Tetris piece. Everyone knows it. Everyone has played it because I do think it's definitely one of the better zones maps in the game. It's definitely there. I would say it's definitely on the higher end. I do think it's I would say it's very balanced because the attackers can basically get plat and the core area of the other side really quickly, but also the defending team they have like a permanent high ground around their base, right? So you can effectively kind of shoot down your opponents. You can kind of effectively take space back, but I think it's a matter of when or which team can better get their specials in place, which team can better get better get their players in place, basically.
Yeah, definitely making sure that you have superior positioning, superior special rotation here. At least trying to make sure you can at least have special fights. I'm having specials saved for an incoming push, and I think we have our match here. We have a freaking packet, yo, versus 5,000.
5,000? Guess what? It's not over 9,000, so I'm not scared.
The power level, their power level is nothing to worry about so far, but perhaps that's something that we're underlooking from the Mecha Ellie, Melamania, Monkey, and Cairo going up against Ponies, Sunny, Pats, and Toby. Okay, so they're going to be on Hagglefish Market. This is going to be zones here. We saw Hagglefish earlier on TC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think Hagglefish in general is like you said earlier, it's a very flat map, not a lot of elevation changes. Like, you kind of know where the enemy's coming from, you kind of know what to expect for the most part. And I think overall this map mode is very good I won't say filler. Filler's not a good word. It's a very good opener. It doesn't there's no tricks to it, right? There's no secret flank routes. You have to stay honest, basically. Like, this map kind of forces you to play honest. So it's just very good opening. It's very good to kind of feel out what your opponent wants to do and how you can effectively respond to it.
Yeah, especially, yeah, I definitely agree with the notion that Hagglefish is a perfect icebreaker here. There's not a lot of things it's not to say that Hagglefish Market could be predictable, but it's definitely not a map in which things can kind of just spiral out of control and become really unpredictable as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do think it can be at least a little bit predictable because, like we said, it's very flat. Elevation changes, not really that much to be concerned about, because yes, you do have the side lanes, which can be a problem if you aren't expecting it. But if you got into gray white, I do expect that they are going to keep their eyes peeled for any flank routes. So I think it will kind of force the opponent to remain as remain as honest as possible. So hey, we're gonna see as the teams are gonna start getting ready up, and we're gonna be jumping into it in a little bit, possibly.
Surely the prep time. Oh yeah. Oh, I thought we were gonna jump right into it. We're back with the Sleepy Spiel and Brian Hands for one more pre-game talk before game one starts here. I guess diving into our other matches, TC Inkblot will be next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like we said earlier, we were talking about earlier, the bats, especially for the second checkpoint, is really, really important, since that uninkable ramp is kind of like the choke point of all time. Mm-hmm. It's the uninkable that you have to walk up. Not only that, you're at a massive height disadvantage, so you're being shot at from left, right, and center. You're just being bombarded with all this ink. So for both of these teams, like we said before, if you get control of bats, that's a really, really good way to keep the weight off of the Tower Rider.
I think definitely, yeah, of course, we have not stopped talking about the importance of bats, as well as this is at this point no more time for analysis about game 2. It's time for game 1 here. What are we going to see from a freaking packet? Yo will pop a very traditional team from a packet. Meanwhile, we're seeing Tetris coming out from 5,000, accompanied by the Carbon Roller. That's two edges to their frontline sword.
Yeah, very, very interesting. Now, their comp does kind of rely on Neela there and Eli on the pencils to kind of paint for both those weapons. You see both of them just sharking at the top of your screen, waiting for somebody to come to the trap. There it is. One member is going to go down for a freaking packet, yo. So they're going to be at least initial disadvantage here, but they're going to respond really quickly and stabilize themselves as 5,000 actually are going to go 2 down. The crowd coming out from exclamation point, I guess, is going to be able to find 1, but a freaking packet, yo, able to really easily recollect themselves and get the lead here.
Yeah, actually. Excellent special usage coming from freaking packet. You know, they go start the fight with the crab and close the fight with the Booyah Bomb, flushing 5,000 back further. But here comes Cairo with the Reef Slider. They have Sunny in their sights, but exclamation point is trying to gun them down here. Exclamation point's going to go down. Nemeka is now going to start sitting under the tent here. I think they have Sunny in their sights. They're going to lie in wait as 5,000 will take the lead back. They're going to start pushing forward, but they're under fire from the rest of a freaking packet. Yo, they're still in their spawn here, as Nilla is going to provide a little bit more problems here, and they're going to start moving in. That's not just the Booyah Bomb, but that's also the crab. And there is someone in the back. I think that's the Tetra. Yeah, oh, that's not the Tetra, that's the Splash, actually. And it's just the front lines of 5,000 left to hold the fight against the rest of a freaking packet, yo. And they're going to move forward. That's exclamation point leading the charge, accompanied by what I was assuming to be, I think, the Stamper here. That's going to be a jump out from 5,000. Sunny's going to drop the soda here. They're ready to potentially get this lead back. It's 73 to 41.
Yeah, but we see 5,000 not getting up the zone that easy as a freaking Pacquiao. Are just wasting a little bit of time here, so not able to get the maximum points that they could have gotten earlier. But hey, the zone is the zone capped as we're going to see one member Caps is going to get absolutely shredded by Neela there. Maybe the crab here is going to be what they need to kind of get some paint back in control of their own plaque, because we're going to see a lot of it's going to be painted in a Packet Yo's color. Unfortunately, Neela will go down here to Sunny on the pencil, just being the scout that they need for their team. Cats with the Booyah Bomb, just waiting for someone for 5,000 to drop into a very unsuspecting spot, able to pop the Booyah Bomb. A freaking Packet Yo able to at least get the lead back for now. We're going to see here as Cairo's going to go down as well. So Pacquiao looking very strong here.
Yeah, here. It doesn't look like 5,000's double-edged sword of an offense, the frontline comp, isn't able to slightly pierce a freaking Pacquiao's shield. Cats is going to go down to Cairo's Reef Slider, but Cairo's going to go down to potentially Hula Hoop Stamper, and it's looking like exclamation point is actually the only one left to fend off against the rest of 5,000, against Bomb Span, and up against as well the S-Blast and the Pencil here. Eli is now spotting Hula Hoop. I think they also spot Sunny in sight. They're accompanied by Cairo, the Bomb Span, and the rest of a freaking packet. Yo, is going to start moving, trickling out past the tent onto point. Nilla is on the steps here. They're under fire from exclamation's crab. You're going to go down to the crab, and now a freaking packet. Yo is starting to move in. Hula Hoop has the Zipcaster. Hula Hoop's going to go down. Nemeka is going to go down, and exclamation point is still holding mid in the favor of a freaking packet. Yo, 5,000 is closing in on a freaking packet. Yo's lead. It's 16. Oh, they stop
15,
it.
15. Hold on. There he goes. A bunch of paint going down. Neela forced to back away and give concessions to a freaking Pacquiao as Cats can go down in a trade. So 5,000 just two ticks too late in order to get that lead here, as Eli is gonna get a lot of pressure from this crab here, forced to back away. A minute left to go in the game. It's still very close, but a freaking Pacquiao looking to at least kind of break through their penalty points, but 5,000 not gonna let that go without a fight. We're gonna see Cairo going in. They have a resider at the ready along with Neela's crab, and they're gonna take that zone back, snatching it away from a freaking Pacquiao. So 50 seconds remaining in this game. It's still very close.
Shout out to Nilla at least making sure that the rest of 5000 doesn't forget about Hula Hoop here. You do not want to let a stray Stamper rampage in your backline. And this duel in the side lane is very decisive. Nilla's going to take out Hula Hoop. It's already 2 down for a freaking packet, yo. And 5000 is already halfway through their penalty points. They are on soda courtesy to Eli. Nilla's going to make sure that the side lanes are clean of any would-be flankers of a freaking packet, yo. Nemeka is now going to move in. They have Hula Hoop in their sights here. I think they're going to go back to where the Carbon's like flanking. They're going to take out Pats. That's already 2 down again for a freaking packet, yo. And they managed to take back lead within the final 10 seconds of this match. Who is going to get out Caro? They have Eli in their sights. Eli's down. Wait, a freaking packet, yo, has overtime now to make it past the 38 and counting penalty points and make it to 4.
I mean, that's very unfortunate. If you're 5000, you had it. It's just you just were a bit too aggressive. That gave freaking Pacquiao the space that they need. But there it is, Cairo and Nemeka just kind of bum rush forward, and it's gonna work. So 5000 by the skin of their teeth basically will take game number 1. And hey, you call it a double-edged sword right now, but they're kind of they're wielding it like Darth Maul at the moment. They're doing really well.
Yeah, call them Sith Lords. They are rocking with the rule of 2 front lines that can just cause so much havoc. Hula Hoop not Hula Hoop, but what's it called? The Tetris that's accompanied by the Carbon can provide a lot of not just pressure, but a lot of mobility, making sure that a freaking Pacquiao is just always on their toes, just making sure that they are not under fire from a would-be flanker, whether that be a Tetra just dashing into their backline or a Carbon laying in wait to get them with a devious vertical flick.
Yeah, but also, like I said earlier, the kind of downside to running such aggressive weapons, including the Tetras and the Carbon, is that your paint is very, very minimal. There is not a lot you can do. So it did kind of rely on both of them kind of doing what they can do, kind of getting those kills. Because if they weren't able to get those kills, if they weren't able to cause a distraction, their house of cards could have fallen really, really quickly. But thankfully, if you're 5000, it didn't have to come to that.
Yeah, especially when a freaking Pacquiao did have a little bit of an edge when it came to paint here, especially considering 5000 was definitely under the pressure of a looming crab almost always every team fight. Not to mention Pacquiao was running, I think they had a Booyah Bomb as well. They have a lot of specials that can provide a lot of pressure onto the zone here.
Yeah, but we're gonna see, as you know, we might be able to keep that Booyah Bomb as we go to game number 2, TC Inkfly, where I could see them keeping the Booyah Bomb, because you know, GG Booyah does what GG Booyah does. It just kind of says, hey, you can't go there, that's it, you can't move.
That being said, when it comes to that whole "you can move" statement, that also applies to the one charging up the Booyah Bomb in the first place. And granted, while yes, 5000's front line to dual-bladed lightsaber may be dangerous, it could be what they need to actually just cancel out a lot of these important specials before they even happen.
Yeah, so I do think that 5000. I do think they keep the very aggressive comp, but they're gonna have to be a lot more careful, if I would say.
Yeah, I definitely recommend, of course, bringing your cooler. Of course, you don't want your front lines to be definitely waiting that long on the respawn timer.
Yeah, but honestly, for a freaking Pacquiao, I could honestly, their comp kind of works. Like, it was just a very unfortunate timing. Like, they did have the S Blast, they had the pencil, they had what else they have? Why am I blanking?
S Blast, the pencil, the Splash-O-Matic, as well as Hula Hoop on the Stamper.
Yeah, so I do think that can work. The only change I could really realistically see is the going over to the Neo Splash for, you know, GG strikes, just in case. So yeah,
I would say, okay, GG strikes are definitely crucial to have on zones, but even still, a crab riding the tower is nothing to scoff at, especially considering the crab output that a freaking Packet Yo has. I do also want to say, before we got kind of cut off into our analysis of game 2 going into game 1, I definitely wanted to say that specifically within TC, and oh, I got cut off again.
You got cut off again.
How do I just say this before we reveal the weapons? Take control of stacks at mid. Take control of stacks at mid. What are we seeing? Sunny is bringing out the head it. Meanwhile, 5000 is bringing out the pencil. They have cooler.
Yeah, looks like the only change is going to be Hula Hoop going over to the Wiper instead of the Stamper. So not a whole lot changed from either side. Both sides sticking with what they know, sticking to the crab on both sides. But Nemeka is going to go down right away. Nilo looking for some support. They're going to go down as well. So freaking Packy with a really, really strong start. Cairo over there on the flank, able to find one onto Cat. So very, very fortunate for them to not let a freaking Packy get as strong as a push as they maybe want to. But you can see them right now. A freaking Packy just broke through that first checkpoint like a hot knife through butter. And it looks like they're going to keep on going if they can.
That being said, though, their push has been interrupted by the carbon roller. Nemeka's going to go down here, and I think they don't even need to move a little bit, but I think they were interrupted once again by the Tetra dualies as well. The uninkable platform is now making its presence known. Nemeka's going to go down once again to exclamation point, and Hula Hoop's going to start hammering down on Bats. Cairo's going to go down again, and Nilla is guarding Bats with extreme precision. They're going to take out the Splash-O-Matic before going down to Sunny. They're almost at their cooler. They have a very strong lead at 55 here, but that can still be taken back just as fast as they gained it from 5000. They just need to get this push going, make sure they can get past mid that a freaking Packet Yo is guarding so eloquently, and Hulu's just dancing around stacks. They're gonna take out Nilla. That's only 2 down for a freaking Packet Yo as 5000 will start riding the tower.
Yeah, we're gonna see, and I think what really helped the freaking Pacquiao, at least early on, was that they really dealt with the flanks, they dealt with the carbon, they dealt with the Tetris, and now I think Cairo and Nemeka were able to get a couple of picks. So now to 5000, try to do something here. They hammer from Mulu, looking for a pick onto Nila, probably not quite able to get it. They're forced to back out for a second, but able to get one though, not quite able to get the second one, not without getting a trade, however. So 5000's push will be stopped short, but they still have most of mid in control. They still have their pencil Sunny there on the stack, just kind of being a scout for the most part. Cairo, unfortunately, jump, they were going to go down. So about 3 minutes left in this game. It's still very close. Also, nice direct.
Yeah, that was a very nice direct before the blaster went down. It's a wipeout from 5000 as the pressure is now on a freaking Packet Yo. And now that's already 2 members. The lightsaber is on Bats. Nilla, Nemeka are already firing at spawn. Cats has gone down right before Cairo's gonna get a Reef Slider pick into their spawn as 5000 will get lead back on a freaking Packet Yo. And now they're moving past checkpoint 2 here. They're looking to get the knockouts. Someone's going down in Bats. That was the Splash-O-Matic. Nemeka's gonna go down next. Hula Hoop, that's 3 down. That's the front lines. Both the Tetra and the Carbon are out. And I think that's all members of 5000 are expelled from spawn as Cats is making an eager attempt to move into their spawn before getting shut down by 5000's pencil.
Yeah, 5000, they took advantage. They got the wipeout. They just, to the victory go the spoils, I guess. They just kind of did what they needed to do. Hula Hoop trying to do the exact same thing that 5000 did to them, but not quite able to get it. Cat's going to go down once again, so no blaster to affect the tower there if you're to affect the bats there if you're 5000. So a cooler on either side going to be popped, so you expect a lot of fights happening right now. Sunny forced to back away because of Nilla's crab, forced to not engage for now, but Hula Hoop trying to keep going, at least be a little ledge demon, trying to get a couple of sneaky picks there. Let's see one. Unfortunately, the hammer will get shut down by Nila there, so very, very good for them. Cat's gonna go down as well. Sunny gonna go down as well. The jumper trying to get something. Hula Hoop staying alive. Actually managing to get a pick without forgetting out themselves. So a freaking Pacquiao, they're gonna go 3 down, unfortunately.
Yeah, Cats is left to guard the tower from the rest of 5000 that have immediate presence at the checkpoint and at stacks. Nemeka's firing more shots into Bats. Definitely a good place to shoot at once you have Zuka here. They get camped on the jump by Hula Hoop, who's just weaving in and out of place. They're going to get shut down by Eli's pencil. They're now going to take control of the stacks as they move out of mid into safety here, especially as Cats is going to make their presence known going down here. I think that was, what's it called? I think that was Cairo going down to Sunny here. It doesn't look like a lot of the teams are making it past the first checkpoint here, because the freaking Pacquiao needs to make it past the first checkpoint and then into spawn further to beat five. Oh yeah, second. Needs to be past the second checkpoint in order to beat 5000's lead of 34.
Yeah, but it's like 5,000. They're gonna keep up this aggression for as long as they can. So they're finally forced to back away. Cairo gonna go down once again. So as we enter the final 15 seconds of the game and possibly overtime, if you're a freaking Pacquiao, it's just about making sure that Nemeka right there goes down, making sure that Mila can't get a crab, making sure Cairo can't affect the tower. So that's exactly what they're gonna do. Making to get their way towards that second checkpoint. They're gonna be there. Gonna see Cairo or Nila there. They're gonna go down as well. Freaking Pacquiao looking good right here. Two members of 5,000 are gonna go down, but Mecca just sneaks by everyone, kind of slithers their way towards the tower, gets on top, bops Sunny on the head, and that will do it. 5,000 will take the game after a freaking Pacquiao tries their best to come back, but a little too late as they're gonna move on to our next round.
Yeah, do not count out the lethalness, the lethality that 5000 brings to the table here. Taking both games within their first match on Great White Bracket, moving forward to face. Who are they going to face? They're going to face Bonsai in round 2 of Great White, but unfortunately, Topic, we won't be seeing that, and we won't be seeing whoever we're seeing next in round 2 of Great White, because this is where the comm switch will inevitably happen here. Do we still want to do a little bit more of some analysis before we eventually hop off, though?
I guess we can. Yeah, so I do think overall, I do think that 5,000, their very aggressive comp did work out for them. Yes, I did see a little bit of their Achilles heel in that first game where they kind of had to be a little bit more aggressive than they kind of would have liked to be, but it did work out in their favor. They were able to, cover up their defense, their weaknesses, and really show what's what. And then that game too, after they got down early, they just kind of went forward, and it just worked out for them.
They just stepped on the gas and never let go here. And even when they were forced to start cruising a little bit, they managed to keep their paces, making sure that they don't falter here, setting the pace for the rest of game 2, securing the sweep here, not even needing to go into game 3. Topic, what an amazing showcase.
Yeah, but with that, like you said earlier, that'll be it for at least our comm blocks. So, Frosty, a little bit of housekeeping to do. Where can people find you?
The good people of Twitch chat can find me at Blue Sky at frostix.bluesky.social. I want to post more there. Please check me out. I'm on the site formerly known as Twitter at TK_Frostix. I'm at Discord at just Frostix, and I'm writing a web novel. Read here on Wattpad. That's aside from the points. My voice is definitely starting to falter out. But Topic, where can the good people find you?
Yeah, you can find me over on Twitter, or the site formerly known as Twitter, and on Blue Sky at Topical2. Find me on Discord at Topic_2. And yeah, that's about it for us. But hey, for the people watching this, hey, don't go anywhere just yet, because after us we have Joker and Saf commentating, so I'm sure y'all don't want to miss that. So with that, that'll be it from us. But hey, for IPL, we still got more SOS coming up for you in a little bit. So y'all have a good night and stay back, because more people will be back in a couple minutes.
Hey, sports fans. Welcome back to Swim or Sink 179. My name is Saf, and I'm here with IPL staff extraordinaire, Supura Jokura, Durrr or Moonshine, if you had to take your pick.
Well, if I had to take a pick, at least I've seen Moonshine before. I've seen them play in a couple of the SOSs in past, as well as some of the Prism breaks.
Okay. All right. I think I'm more of a Durrr type of gal myself. I like that Andric is on the roster twice. They're so good. They just had to be on the roster twice. So gotta appreciate that there. But on the side of Moonshine, you have Tia, Baja, Pisto, Gaming, and Icon. We're starting on Umami Ruins on this next step of our Great White journey. So looking on ahead here, some things to expect. Things to expect here, Jokura.
Well, at least on Umami Ruins, I know that like a lot of this stage tends to play in mid a lot of the time, whereas a lot of it just tends to be very back and forth circling. You don't tend to see that many teams push that much farther than like around the court area. So I'm kind of expecting to see a little bit more focus on I guess like more mid-range. Definitely expect to see some kind of pencil or long-range painter for this map.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there. And actually looking at the folks that are on the side of Moonshine, for example, there's a lot of results here. Which, folks, if you do ! bracket, you can actually look at the bracket live along with us as well. So if you want to take a look at that, I would highly encourage you to do so. And also just take a look at like what some of these players have, like their different accolades on Sendo. Moonshine, just between the bunch, tons of accolades, tons of like, you have a lot of lower level representation, meaning like All for One and from the Ink Up. You have a lot more of like unique tournament challenges kind of coming into the fray. You have Minnow Cup. You also have Chromatic Co-op, a lot of more All for One. Actually, a lot of All for One. This team really likes All for One.
I mean, I can't exactly blame them. All for One, at least from what I've seen, tends to be a tournament that's like gotten a lot of attention. And while I have not personally played it, I definitely like the idea of having a more like focused mode tournament to get that practice that you really need on those specific modes. So definitely understand it from that point of view.
Right. Oh my gosh. Okay. And then if you actually take a look at the flip side of this match, you have the folks on Durrr. And yes, the amount of R's actually does represent how long you're supposed to say the Durrr part. That's actually not... No one actually told me that. I kind of just made that up. But tricks on Durrr, wow. If you go ahead and look at their Sendo profile at some point, there's a ton of accolades here. So basically what I'm trying to say is no strangers to the game, no strangers to the competitive scene here. And already we're going to have opening statements in just a second.
All right, we get here and we see both teams running Vanilla Nautilus. Was not expecting that kind of pick, but guess we're going to be getting into the game here. Also, a Luna Neo pick on the side of Moonshine here. Both teams playing a lot in neutral at the moment.
Yeah, I really like and appreciate the Neo Luna pick. Not something that you really see very often, although I appreciate when it does get to come into the fray, but not really lasting for long, as that was an excellent shot coming in from Scallop on the midsection there. And like you were saying, it's a pretty neutral game so far into the fray. Not really many points to be scored, except if you're Durrr going in and taking the lead. Feeling a little bit hesitant, though, to get pushed up.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of the teams just seem to be like just waiting to build those resources here, not really moving too far. Baja pushing up a little bit further along with Gaming to get one pick, although that push is unfortunately going to have to stop here because of the Zuka on the side of Durrr.
But however, Durrr coming back in with the rain, taking one zone, taking the second, and I like the Nautilus kind of taking up that middle section and moving in with the rain, kind of utilizing the ebb and flow of how the rain moves through the map. And I mean, a great utilization at that, because that's 3 members down on the side of Moonshine and ready to infiltrate the base.
Yeah, Durrr here is taking taking it all the way to court here, trying to use the Zuka as well to help extend their push and prevent Moonshine from even pushing up. Moonshine pulling up a Zuka of their own as the stamp also comes out from Baja to help get them back into mid. Unfortunately, it seems like they just managed to get back their court, but we'll have to see what they do from here to take back both zones now, finally letting them start to score more points on the board.
Yeah, I was a little worried there. It seemed like communication from Baja to the rest of the teammates, they got a little bit ahead of themselves and kind of just caught themselves between a rock and a hard place going down there. But it seemed to work out in their favor because, like we said, both the zones now being back in possession, a suction bomb coming out to try to maybe deter the competition just a little bit from Durrr to come in to the fray here. And it's so far so good because we're still holding on to the zone if we're Moonshine.
Definitely. Okay, so here we're going to be taking the top middle part of the stage. Very good, having to also move back now. Seems like Durrr has managed to take back the zone, at least putting some kind of penalty on Moonshine. As we keep just playing in neutral, unfortunately, it seems that both teams haven't really been able to get that much more ground on each other as of right now. Gonna have to see, although Moonshine does start taking back some more space as they manage to take out one on Durrr.
And Durrr is doing their best to try to break back into the map. Once again, here comes the rain. Here comes the rainfall and allows actually quite a bit of an opening. That's Andric coming up in with the pencil. Also, the cooler has been launched, so quick respawns for Durrr going on here. And also, shout out to that... Okay, well, shout out to the used to be sprinkler because now that has been eliminated there, but that is okay. Durrr now actually in a very nice clump on the center stage here because not really any threats coming out from Moonshine. Not too much ground to be had for them. You can see that Pisto's trying to see if they can claim back some territory here. Enough, though, for Baja to come in, get one. That's two on the stamp, looking for the third, but finally going to be put to rest by Andric.
That was a very good push I saw from Baja there on the Luna Neo. Managing to get 2 picks that were also very important, and forcing the pencil to have to jump back allowed Moonshine to really take back some space here. Gonna have to see, though, because Durrr does have that Storm again, which they have used so far in this game to great success, and they have, again, just done it to great success to get back both zones here, as Moonshine's gonna have to be on the more defensive right now to find a way to get back in.
Yeah, but, I mean... Fortnite coming in on the right-hand side with this bucket here. This is a great position for them to be in because you're locking out that tiny ledge where people can hide, as we just saw Baja doing it. I always imagine, what if the players could see each other's names just like we can in the spectator booth right now, and how different the sort of tactics would be. But anyways, I digress. Most of the folks on Moonshine trying to take up the left-hand side here, not really finding too much success, though. But unless your name is Baja, Baja is not afraid to go into the fight.
Yeah, we only have 12 seconds left on this game, though. Moonshine is going to have to really buckle down here in order to make sure that they can keep both zones. Unfortunately, 2 of them do go down. It's going to be left down to their pencil and not to maintain both zones here as we start going into overtime.
With overtime being entered, it just takes a little bit for Durrr to go ahead and cover the zone. They're flexing their resources here. This way coming out from Fortnite, looking to try to see if they can capture either zone. They only have a few seconds to do it, and that's 2 members, make it 3 going down. An unfortunate downfall for the folks of Durrr. That is Moonshine rounding us out in game 1.
I gotta say that seeing both teams there using the Ink Storm to their advantage, especially with the vanilla knot pit, which is not a weapon that I've really seen all that often. I definitely was a little surprised to see it, but seeing how well they used that Storm to their advantage to both help them not only get paint down, but also force the enemy, especially with how large the Storm is. I believe it covers one entire side of Umami Ruins in mid. Really let both teams push back in to take those zones.
Yeah, I didn't see the final moments there where 2 of the players of Durrr ended up falling in the attempt to take the zone back. But that definitely contributed to the downfall because that's 2 major painters that you are immediately losing. And it wasn't just like a staggered loss, it was like a loss at the same time. Which is not ideal, not what you want to see. And so the folks of Moonshine, they were like, okay, we have to capitalize on this. We have to move forward. We have to get in to the bottleneck area where the ramp is at, and then go ahead and finally think our feet and get our teeth, make the bite real, and kind of close this game out. So things going ahead. Any notes to be taken? I think we're going on Museum Clam Blitz next. What do you think? What do you think needs to happen here for the folks of Durrr to kind of turn the tides around a little bit?
Ooh, Clams Museum, that's a hard one. It's a stage that I know tends to be, it either you get one big push and that's your only push for the game, or you just take as many small pushes as you can get. I think what Durrr is going to have to need right now is they're going to have to need some kind of like just real big push at the sometime around that game to just sort of help maintain them, or you help get them points. We're going to be starting the game here, it seems.
Okay. Okay. I did see the Stamper. Okay, so a change in weaponry coming out from Durrr. We are going to be seeing the Stamper being swapped out for the Nautilus. So a little more mobility with that Zipcaster to follow up. Definitely could be utilized here. Lots of surface area, Jokura. Lots of surface area for that Zipcaster to latch onto and to find utilization. And already finding utilization because that's first blood, the first member of Moonshine going down, first 15 seconds.
Yeah, definitely. With how many large, long, tall areas there are, Zipcaster is definitely going to be getting a lot of value here. We see Andric here in mid just kind of helping to use their pencil to kind of force Moonshine to not be able to push into mid as they're helping their other teammates push up here, get some strikes in. Gonna definitely help get a little push here, but Baja ends up coming in here to get one, almost finds two, but their Stamper still that strong, just midline slaying power, coming in with a Zipcaster to start finding some picks here on Moonshine.
Okay, I'm thinking the matchup of the evening is going to be the Stamper versus Baja on the Neo Luna. I'm sorry, I cannot read Japanese, so I'm not sure what that name entails. I will be following up on the Sendo page to see if there is a different name for that. But anyways, matchup for me of the evening is going to be this Stamper and this Neo Luna coming out from Baja, because again, Baja shows little to zero fear going in and for the fight. So as we can see them doing that right now, they went in for the Stamp. That's two folks down on Durrr. Huge opening for Moonshine if they can make it work for them. But no, unfortunately, that's not going to be the case, because I really do think that the Stamper here, unless you get taken out by a suction bomb, is going to be the answer.
Definitely. We are currently 2 minutes into the game here. Neither team has been able to find any ground to get some points in. Right now, it's just two teams are just being very careful, making sure that they're not overextending, but also trying to find any opportunity that they can. But it seems like both of them are just playing super well to ensure that neither of them can really get a push here. Their Stamper gets one, but has to jump out back to the pencil. As we, again, return back to just neutral and mid.
Yeah, it seems this is kind of the story that we've been seeing throughout this entire match. It's like some folks get a good foothold in mid, they take two members out, but then nobody feels brave enough to go ahead and push forward again unless you're Baja. Look at that! Consistently trying to come in with the Stamp and create some sort of openings, cause some sort of wake in the defense that that Moonshine's been putting out, but still not finding any value quite yet. Or excuse me, that Durrr has been putting out, but not quite finding any value. But finally, it's going to be Andric that is going to put the end to this stalemate and get the first pop.
Yeah, Durrr finally gets some points on the board. Unfortunately, seems that they're going to have to back out immediately. They do have another power clam online at the very least, so if they can at least keep maintaining that pressure up by the basket, then they can still at least have one good score already. But Baja already coming in to try and do something with that, as we can see from just how much that Luna Blaster just covers any area that Durrr would be able to stand in.
Oh, and that's gotta hurt from gaming. Not only getting taken down by your own weapon, no, almost Baja being able to suspend that throw, but just not quite fast enough. That was frame perfect for the folks of Durrr to break into that basket. And again, still trying to see if they can get, if Moonshine can get any more economy on their side. And it seems consistently we can find them with a power clam in their hands, but still Durr's defense has not been toppled.
Yeah, I definitely think that Stamper from Omega Kraken, who was the Stamper player on their team, is coming in very, very well here to just put an end to any push that they might be able to, that Moonshine might be able to put down, as well as just be able to put some kind of counter on Baja, who came in very, very nicely a lot of times last game with that Luna Neo. Right now, we're just having to watch Andric just playing defensive, and it seems that's what Durr's just wanting to do. And they actually did get another push here, putting them down at 58 points.
Oh my god, I'm flabbergasted. That double bomb kill coming out from Fortnite and toppling 2 power clams onto the field. 24 clams! The folks of Moonshine are wealthy as we enter this overtime stretch here on Museum, and a lot of clams to boot. Trying to see if they can find an opening. That's Baja looking for it, but they find themselves in a 3 members down scenario. Unfortunate for them, the Stamp cannot outlast the Trizuka Icon, looking to jump back in and see if they can re-enter with the teammates, but Jakura, I don't think that's going to be enough time to make it up.
Yeah, it seems that Durrr does get a point on the board. That, again, they just played that game really, really safe, making sure that they really started pushing in, and when they actually had enough power on their side and using that, they just kept maintaining that ground even after getting a couple clams into the basket.
Yeah, and another thing to note, I appreciate that Baja kept on trying to see if they could make something happen, because it's like that is like how you learn, and that is how you can try and see if you can actually make something happen. Like, you don't know unless you try, and like, I appreciate that Baja just kept trying to do that time and time again. Not sure if maybe some of the communication was a little bit rocky in like what they wanted to do, and if there was a few times maybe that they were just trying to like go rogue a little bit, which, like, more power to you. If you're gonna want to try something, like, this is the place to try to do it. But unfortunately, there wasn't really enough follow-up for them to get something started, or like the Stamp came out a little bit late. Shout out to Trizuka, just completely eliminating them and their teammate right at the final moments of overtime there. So again, going into the third game though, this is a 1-to-1 scenario. We're looking in to try to close it out on this last one. So I mean, based on like the performance that we've seen out of both sides, I feel like we're pretty evenly matched here, but closing it out with Splat Zones. Like we played Splat Zones earlier. Yes, yeah, we played Splat Zones game 1. So I think closing it out here on Splat Zones definitely is going to be more advantageous for the folks of Moonshine.
Yeah, definitely also going to be advantageous as we come here onto Ship Shape Cargo Co. This is a map that if you don't commit to pushing, you're not going to really be getting anywhere. You have to make sure that if you're going to push up on this map, you have to make sure that you're actually wanting and know that you can sustain yourself during that push with how closed in everything can be. Here Gaming ends up coming in, starts getting some picks as Moonshine immediately starts trying to take out the members of Durrr and get some points on the board.
Right, and with Moonshine being the first ones to take the zone, not only take the unfortunate timing for Omega Kraken, which, by the way, that is the translation for the Stamper player is Omega Kraken in Japanese. The folks of Moonshine are doing a fantastic job of keeping this zone under wraps here, but unfortunately going to have to back up just a little bit. The pressure from Durrr just a tad too strong for them to keep something going here. But hey, you know what? Cooler's been popped. The drinks are flowing. Maybe they could change that and turn it around.
Yeah, Moonshine is at least keeping the zone back in neutral. Gave a small penalty on the side of Durrr, who is going to start using their specials here to try and continue actually taking back the zone here. Gaming, unfortunately, not able to find that stamper, but is able to at least apply some pressure onto the members of Durrr. As we see, like, despite the fact that Durrr does technically have player advantage right now, they're not really able to get that much down because of that pencil and that Nautilus. They're just standing there making sure that they have nowhere that they can push up.
Yeah, and consistently I've seen a Pisto doing their best to keep a bunch of paint and keeping territory in the hands of Moonshine. And I mean, Baja, I feel like, has wasted no time to try to take advantage of that, looking in to try to see if they can shark here. Unfortunately, though, the downside of that cooler... Oh. Well, the downside of the cooler is that we disconnect ourselves from the host. We said that we're done with you. We're done with you, Pipe Dream. We're done with you. We don't want to play. I don't want to play with you anymore, as Andy said in Toy Story.
The game-ending soda stops the game here.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I mean, what's the rules here? Because I think we were past the time limit, no?
I don't think so, because the timer, at least on my end, was at least on 2:51. So they technically had 21 seconds before the game would be over.
Is it 3 minutes or 2 minutes?
I thought it was like 2.5. Here, hang on a minute.
We're checking the rules.
I have to consult the SOS rules document. Yeah, under 2 minutes and 30 seconds, or if the whole hosting team is 50 units or closer to a KO. So
by the skin of their teeth, they can replay it. Well, they have to, or else we're tied. They have to. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't even matter. Yeah, okay. We are going to replay it. We just got confirmation. We got confirmation from our SOS overlords that they are going to have to replay it. And I mean, well, like, we don't have a choice. Like, we're tied here. We can't, like, our hands are tied. We have to replay it. So, same weapon compositions, obviously, as before. I mean, the opening statement from Moonshine was pretty significant. They had the zone in possession for pretty much most of the game. Durrr kept coming in and throwing a jab here and there, but a lot of challenges in trying to break the offensive pressure that Moonshine was putting down. You got to be watching out for where Baja's going to be. Definitely a lot of good follow-up from Icon, helping out with that Nautilus that they were using, and also trying to make sure that they can give a bunch more paint, I think, to Baja to use. But consistently, I was seeing those two like kind of pair together. So I'm wondering if those are going to be the same types of keys to success, but also kind of a really great chance for Durrr to try to see if they can take these notes, come back, assess, and see if they can make it better. So yeah. Pretty lucky to have a redo.
Yeah, Ship Shape is definitely, at least from what I have seen of this game, definitely a map that has been much more in favor of Moonshine than Durrr. It's a map that definitely it's a map that rewards being farther back than you would think to be, because there's only really two good places to push on that map, one of which is a drop that is very close to the water. It definitely makes it so that a comp of like both of them having Pencil and Nautilus, it's going to come down to how well their front lines are better able to push up to start getting those picks on that on their knot and pen for both teams.
Yeah, and I want to say too, something I've noticed here, both pens have been playing very far back, like, which it's like, oh, it's a backline, but like, I feel like the higher up you go and the higher level pencils that you tend to watch and find will very much be like, if they can, like, be very midline. But I appreciate kind of the slow burn that we're getting from both of these pencils. They're not over pushing themselves. They're kind of waiting for their team to really flush it out before they really want to get into the fray of things themselves. Because I don't know, like, to me it feels that both of these teams are playing a lot slower, even though there's cooler out on the field for both sides. with both of those pens kind of biding their time, it just seems like a much slower way to play the game.
Yeah, definitely. It's something that I tend to see whenever I've seen pencil. At least I've not necessarily seen too many high-level pencils as of now because I don't really watch that many high-level tournaments. But I do know that pen tends to be very good at being able to play further back, and as such, it is more reliant than ever on having teammates alongside it that are going to be able to actually push in to take those fights, so that way the pen can start moving up, considering the fact that it does not have any way of like significantly moving whilst having its charge with it, meaning that it can't really directly be able to fight or be able to put paint down unless it starts getting set up.
So I guess in this case, for something like Ship Shape, where you have like a very high center stage and then you kind of have higher points back near like where the spawning grounds are, would you say that pen definitely benefits from having a height advantage here, or do you think it like really matters?
It's weird because I feel like on this map more than ever, having the height advantage is more of a disadvantage because you actually lose out on painting most of that zone in the center, where a lot of it tends to be covered by those two overhangs. And additionally, you just also lose out on being able to see the other side of the middle tower. If you end up taking around that middle tower, you start taking some of the higher vantage points. I definitely think that this is a map that it rewards the high ground for weapons that don't normally want to take that high ground.
Right. Okay. So that makes me wonder then, because I wonder like what could be the replacement for that if they would want to try to do something on the higher ground, as we are trying to get back into the lobby here and get things settled. We did want to say bon voyage to Justin in the last one, our lovely host Pipe Dream. They said that they were done with him, but we're waiting for them to get back. And we're waiting for the other. I actually didn't see who disconnected. All I know is that it was the third on the roster. When you look at the top bar, it was the third squid on the roster. Hoping to get that teammate back into the fray of things as well. I do wonder. Oh, okay. There's actually a debate going on in help desk right now about what's going to be going on with this next game, which. Understandably so, because I know Jakura's got it, but I was confused. I was like, I thought we were past the time length. I thought that even like in unit points, I thought we were like well past the time in unit points as well. But if that's the case, then the game would go to Moonshine. Moonshine was ahead.
Yeah, because I think if it's a host DC that's outside of the teams that are currently playing, it does, as long as the points are, I don't actually know what kind of situation that would lead to, because I don't really think it's happened all that often. But I do at least know that Moonshine definitely was farther ahead in points. So if it was not a DC on their end, then at the very least, it would either be a replay or in some way would go to Moonshine, but I know that I have the SOS rules down to a degree, but stuff constantly changes.
You mean that you don't have it just like on hand in your brain right now, just in your noodle? You can think about it like you wake up in your sleep and start incanting the SOS rulebook. From the dead of night.
I mean, you'd think after 3 years of doing SOS, you'd have it memorized, but...
Okay, well, you know what, folks? Why don't we do this? Why don't we throw it to a quick break? We'll go ahead and give the team some time to kind of hash it out and see with the staff what's going to be going on. So don't go too far. I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want to miss it. Don't go too far. Go get a snack, maybe a drink, maybe use the bathroom. But you want to scuttle and scurry your way right back here with us on SOS 179. Don't go anywhere.
All right, and we are back now with more SOS 179 hit tournament.
We figured it out. Thank goodness. Shout out to Toma, SOS Super God Extraordinaire. We figured it out. We are going to be replaying the set. We are replaying the set. We're going back to ship shape, splat zones. We're going to do it again. We're going to run it back. We're going to run it back. And they're actually ready. Like they're like, all right, let's do this. Putting pants on, one leg at a time. Back to ship shape cargo. We're working out on the cargo hole on the oil rig. That is ship shape cargo co. Back with the same weapons here. Now, just to reiterate and refresh you a little bit. Moonshine was in the lead before we had the disconnect. Really strong opening, strong foothold, got a lot of points in. But we're going to be seeing the reverse of that as Durrr went back and took some notes. And now they know how they want to follow up here.
Yeah, it seems like Durrr put their slosher significantly further up on that middle tower and were able to get the drop on Baja. Unfortunately, their slosher does end up going down, but as of right now, it seems like Durrr does have the lead in points, with that Stamper coming in to be somewhat be a distraction for Moonshine. Moonshine is going to be taking back the zone here, but right now it's still anyone's game.
Yeah, still anybody's game at the moment here. And actually a trade of members going down. That was the Nautilus going down on Moonshine and then Baja going down immediately after the respawn. Not ideal. Not ideal for Moonshine. Not an ideal opening, because having those two folks staggered means all the more that your team has to wait for you before initiating the team fight. And with the folks of Durrr, they seem to be playing it a lot more carefully here. You have Omega Kraken on that Zipcaster trying to be a little bit of a distraction. You have the Tri-Strikes coming out to try to create some sort of opening here, try to displace the members of Moonshine just a little bit. But not to any success here, as Moonshine is still going to steamroll through this capture.
Yeah, Moonshine, Durrr and Moonshine have just been fighting back and forth. Both teams kind of setting up their most important players in really good positions. I know I've seen their Slosher Fortnite having been set up on that right tower. Currently, Baja is taking the lead, down to 27 points at this point right now. Icon just kind of waiting for their time to shine, ends up trading with Fortnite as well. Moonshine actually down to 10 points at the moment.
This is a good spot for them to be. You could see a Pisto trying to... It's a pencil. A fight of the pens happening in the middle section there, but Andric...
You can, I know, play on there.
Well, I for one think that if Ivy is going to come out with a roller, that's going to be super advantageous here. I mean, they're going to be an absolute ledge demon and also probably taking over stacks in whatever which way that they can. But also, hold on, I have to let me refresh myself here. Okay, yeah. But also Goose. Goose is also a very good Brella player. They also have kind of a unique weapon spread, so I think they are also going to be super helpful in trying to follow up and help their teammates out to try to get closer. Oh, good. Okay, I love when people don't put their actual names, so I'm just gonna try to guess. Phelan, that has to be Goose. Yes, that's Goose.
Yeah, I mean, the Panzerella pick, pretty nice here. Both teams kind of sort of playing both having some, like, both kind of like buckle down weapon with like Mint Decav and Pent, but also having that very frontline aggressive slaying power with Custom Blaster here and the Carbon Deco on the side of Bonsai. Pollo currently down to just 76 points here, seeming like they want to push down that zone and make sure that they get that points at the start of the game.
Yeah, and I think Terrapin having that Trizuka right away is going to be really major for trying to shut down any sort of opening that anyone's looking for on the higher ground there. But look at that decav play coming out from Kelt. over on the stack there. They were able to take down 2 different members. Unfortunately, though, Terrathin able to call them out right away from that right-hand side, and immediately going to flip the zone back into the favor of Bonsai. Now, I think with having that sprinkler kind of there to follow up and put down a little bit ink, you got to be watchful and mindful for that, because if you ignore them for too long, they can actually be the thorn in the side.
Yeah, definitely. There is a lot of these weapons here that just, you can't really keep your eyes off of them. You take your eye off Tent or Mint Decav for too long, and they start just completely tearing through your team with shields that you just won't be able to shred through. And keep your eye off that Custom Blaster or Carbon Deco for too long as well, and they'll just start really punishing any amount of push that you make. Pollo does start continuing to take some points here, does find the lead, and is currently just tearing through Bonsai's pushes, as they just can't seem to really find anything to get in right now.
You know, it seems like Goose and Ivy were trying to work together on that left-hand side, though, where it immediately shut down by the Custom Blaster, and it's like they don't really even have a leg to stand on. They can't even like drop down from the top section without immediately getting called out with 10 unit points left to go. I mean, the only thing left to do is to just throw paint where you can find it. But look at that, popping the Trizuka. I could see what they were trying to work with there, and with the pencil trying to follow up, but just not quite enough paint going down on the center stage there. So that's Pollo bringing us into our first game of the semifinals.
Yeah, a little unfortunate on this for Bonsai there. I saw that they were really trying to make that last-minute push. Unfortunately, the zone capped in neutral after the game had ended, meaning that the first game will go to Pollo. Definitely, Pollo seemed to have just a large amount of ways to kind of disrupt Bonsai's pushes and just kind of force them to either have to drop early or not drop at all, which let Bonsai or Pollo still build up more resources for later in the push.
And I wondered with the shift over here in Rainmaker, because to me originally Bonsai was kind of like shoot first, ask questions later. Like they were just from the get-go trying to rush, get in as fast as possible, and even with the tent Brella on your side, which I feel sometimes you have to play tent a little bit slower, but not in the case of Bonsai. Bonsai was just trying to shoot, was basically trying to shoot to kill. And so I feel like maybe with something like Rainmaker, where it can be a little bit faster pace, and you can really control, the players really have control over the flow of the game and how quickly it's going to go. I'm wondering if that quicker mentality will actually benefit Bonsai better here, versus having an objective that's kind of just like set in place, like splat zones.
Yeah, definitely. The Rainmaker is definitely one of those modes where you gotta make sure that you're moving, or at least try to make sure that the objective isn't moving. We start to get here into the game here. Pollo actually bringing out the Vanilla Wiper and the N-Zap, and a Vanilla Splatter Scope. Large shift from both teams here, actually, with Fallon, who I think is Goose, bringing up the Slosher.
The Splatter Scope is a phenomenal pick. Like, oh my god, tell me that you like having fun without directly telling me you like having fun. Because I feel like it's just penciled these days all the way down, so I really appreciate Sky trying to keep us fresh here with the Splatter Scope pick. And it seems to me that Pollo was very close to trying to get a really solid opening here. However, quick shutdown by Bonsai. That's what I'm saying. I feel like something that could be a little bit faster pace is better overall for Bonsai, but it seems to me the special building from Pollo has also been a little bit faster, but now they find themselves in a 3-down scenario. So this is the moment where Bonsai kind of has to get it together and start pushing forward instead of, like, I guess, like, honing in on where the different members are. Because to me, because it's kind of in those, like, last little seconds there that we got to see on the camera view, two of them were kind of pincering in on somebody from Pollo instead of like getting towards the Rainmaker and grabbing it. But super close to the checkpoint bop. That's 72 on the board.
Yeah, both teams just kind of already. Oh, and on the side of Bonsai, I believe that was
Ivy.
Ivy. Okay, yeah, thank you, thank you. Ivy coming in with the quick rain checkpoint break. Even if it wasn't more than a checkpoint break, just breaking through that checkpoint, allowing you to push even further on your next go around for your whatever time you push, is really going to be helpful for Bonsai here. Pollo is trying to find that checkpoint break as well, coming in with the vac. Ends up getting that checkpoint. Unfortunately, is down to just their last member, meaning that Bonsai is going to be able to put an end to their push here.
I appreciate your love, though, just kind of last man standing, being like, if I'm going down, you're coming down with me. And that's exactly kind of picture perfect there. Allowed Kel to come in, but still, alas, not finding too much value. Considering that Ivy and Hornet were both kind of there to follow up and immediately shut that down. A 1-point difference, though, but as we can say with almost any Rainmaker game ever, no lead is ever safe here on Undertow.
Definitely. Especially with Pollo here, or Pollo, with their vac. Well, if they can actually find, unfortunately, Pollo does end up going down to their Wiper. Bonsai is going to be making that, making their push here. Wiper does come in, though, to get that pick. Very important. Puts an end to Bonsai's push almost immediately.